Hello, and welcome to Casting the Net from the studio on the Mount. Today we have two very special guests with us. We have Cecy and Armando Ayala. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you join us.
Aw, thank you guys.
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing to have you both over here in our interview today, and just really to want to get to know more about you, your faith life, your family life, and anything you would like to share and whatever you'd like to share to our community. So with that, some basic questions here. So how long have you been a parishioner at OLMC? And tell us a little bit about your family as well.
Ladies first.
Okay. Actual parishioners was probably 15 years ago. Saturday it'll be 16. We bought our house here in Peñasquito 16 years ago on June 26th. So it's a very meaningful purchase because it was actually on my birthday that we got the keys. So my husband always says, Armando, don't say I never got you anything for your birthday. So I don't ask for much anymore. But literally, I've been here born and raised in San Diego. Mira Mesa was pretty much my home bound.
You're a marauder.
Yeah, I'm a Mira Mesa marauder. And pretty much all my life I was there. I did visit OLMC when I was younger, when it was just, the hall and it was the church. And so I've seen it grow abundance, from the time being. So, and we also, as boyfriend and girlfriend, we were in a ministry of Encuentros de Promoción Juvenil. And we used to have our meetings on Friday night in one of the little trailer homes. Father Fawcett had let us borrow the key and we would go there, meetings. So I remember coming here. So it kind of has like a little history of good things, Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And when I was born and raised in San Diego, we lived in San Isidro for a couple years, and there was Our Lady of Mount Carmel there.
Yeah.
And now I live here with my children at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. So God puts us in the right place at the right time. So pretty much that's it for me.
Yeah.
What are you, Armando?
Well, pretty much the same. Like she just said, born and raised in Tijuana. I come from a big family. I'm the youngest of 13 kids. Yes.
Yeah.
And very unique family because my parents died at early age. They were only 63 years old.
Right.
My mom and then my dad passed away. But they shows the values of the faith. Growing in a Catholic family and then growing in Tijuana, I was in my teens when my brother tried to go to the seminary.
Okay.
So I was following my brother's steps, and I also thought about it, but I said, probably God wants me to do something inside the church. So I started helping in the catechism.
Okay.
So I was serving for 10 years as coordinating the catechism of 200 kids.
Wow.
And I was 10 years, and after that, I moved here to San Diego, start working, in the restaurant business and all that.
Sure.
And I started helping in Mira Mesa. 10 in Tijuana, and then 5 in Mira Mesa, teaching catechism.
Oh, got it.
And then I started coming here to Our Lady of Mount Carmel and did another 5 years. And I said, Cecy, I'm retiring because I served my 20 years already. Right. So basically that's, in the small version of, what I came from. A big family, and I'm happy to be here with, Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And like Cecy said, I've seen how, our community has grown, and with Father Anthony and Father Iggy, and we're happy to be here.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, and so you grew up in a big family, but your family's not small by any means either.
We're five brothers and sisters. So it was when we got married, and my husband said, well, with the grace of God, how many children, with the grace of God. And I wanted 6. So he gave us 5. And then we do include Carly, which is our first, which is our niece.
Is this order?
Yeah, there we go. We go. So we have Alyssa, Angelica, Alonzo, Josue, and then Carly. So she's kind of like our 6th, or she's the first of but she's our niece. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, but you did mention Oaxaca,
Yeah.
and that's one
Right.
thing we wanted to ask you about because we
Right.
know you're involved in the Oaxaca School Foundation, right?
Yeah,
So can you tell us a little bit about that and your involvement? And
Oh wow, I loved it. We had the ability to be part of the ministry here in Our Lady Mount Carmel. The tail end, 15 years, and I know other.
Yeah.
Christoria is one of the many founders. I know that there are other people that have been part of the ministry, that we would go to the camps, to the church, do evangelization, and
Nice.
even the sacraments. When Father Anthony came on board, he said, "Why are we going there? They should come here." So that's when I started also getting more and more involved. And I said, "What can I do?" And they told me, "Well, we need to do fundraisers." And I said, "Okay, let's start." And that's how I got involved. And then Christoria had asked me one time, "Hey, come in August when they do the distribution." And I don't know why we couldn't. Maybe because our anniversary always lands in August. And it's right there. So we didn't. And then the second time that she asked me, I said, "Yes, I want to go." From then on, when people say my heart is in, I left my heart in San Francisco.
Right.
My heart is in Oaxaca. I love the beauty of Oaxaca, the people of Oaxaca, their simplicity, their humbleness. And, when we go there and we're giving them their bags of school supplies. It's in a paper bag or a plastic bag.
Right.
These kids grab it like it was like the best thing ever to them. And I think, wow, if our kids here would see these faces of the joy that just by them receiving this, because
Right.
with that they are learning. So to me, more and more every time that I go there, I just have more of a passion. And then their cultural dresses, those dresses are the ones that they
beautiful.
wear from one of the little villages that we go, Xochitl, and those are typical. They wear that with cardigans.
Wow.
And you see the cardigan, you're like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
They wear
yeah.
cardigans? Here it's supposed to be really, the the
Right,
bling
right.
bling of it.
Yeah.
But they all have different cardigans, and it kind of tells them where their village is from.
Oh,
But it's beautiful, and those faces,
So,
just,
but you
they're
did
in
mention
awe.
Oaxaca,
So
and that's
they
one
do,
thing we
when
wanted to
do
ask
take
about,
pictures,
because we know you're involved
they're
in the
kind of,
Oaxaca
timid
School
because
Foundation.
they're not
Right?
used to all this production or anything.
Right, right.
But they're starting to get used to. And it's really special to share when we do take them the next year. Here you could have it, and they're looking at their picture like, "Wow, that's me." So
Oh, it sounds like that's one of those yeses that you made that really changed your life. Right?
oh yeah. So enough that now it's like, honey, I'm going for Oaxaca in your birthday. So there's been a couple birthdays I've missed and everything.
She's over there during our anniversary and my birthday, and I was like, I better talk to Christoria about it.
So this
Can
year,
we move
because
it to
our
September?
25th, she made it a week later. So
right.
yeah.
All right. So Armando, you did mention about your experience in Tijuana in faith formation. You were
Right.
down there. I think you said 15 years. You taught there.
10 years.
10 years. And
Yes.
So you coordinated hundreds of kids.
Right.
And one thing I think that Cecy had told me about was one of the things you did for fundraisers down there was you ran a carnival.
I did.
Yeah,
For there's a day in Tijuana that I don't think we celebrate in the U.S., but it's April 30th.
Okay.
It's the day of the children. That they have their own day, like
It's
Mother's
called like
Day.
Children's Day.
Oh,
Children's
nice.
Day. Yeah.
Right.
So
That's every day but Father's Day and Mother's Day here.
right. So I was trying to make it, the more fun of it for the kids. And I
Okay.
was working already in the U.S., but I was going also teaching over there, and I would put money out of my pocket to make those kids happy, and I would ask the parents too, who would be sponsors of, and we would close the street just for the kids.
Nice.
We would close every side of the street, and we would bring the carnival for them, ice cream cart, everything
That's
for them
great.
Wow.
free to,
Wow.
and it was a fun. I remember those days, and even we were closed at the street for the kids who play soccer because it's very popular in Mexico, and the girls will play volleyball, and it was a fun day for them, and I still got those in my memories, and it was the most, besides the teaching, it was the most fun for the kids, making those kids smile and be happy in one day or every Saturday. But I did it for 10 years, and we got married,
Yeah.
and we moved to Fallbrook.
Oh, that's a drive.
Yeah, and I was still driving all the way to Tijuana,
Uh-huh.
and I would go on a Saturday doing my weight on the borderline, and after that I would go to work. Yeah, but it was a blessing. I love it. I love it. It was,
Yeah, that's
it's
awesome.
a good time.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I mean, especially hearing, what's going on out there in Tijuana and working with all the youth, the kids. That's awesome.
Kids, right.
Cecy, so you've been involved in faith formation at OMC, especially in the Spanish community. Could you tell us about your experience with that and what has it meant to you?
Wow. Well, yeah, faith formation. I think I kind of did it. Oh, I've always been a person that if somebody says, I need help, Cecy. I don't know how to say no.
Right. So everyone heard that here. If you need help.
I know.
It doesn't necessarily have vocabulary. It doesn't say the word no.
I think what it was is when I did my first real retreat. And when I say real retreat is when, you have that personal retreat with God.
Right.
And it's a 3-level, one personal, one with others, and one with Him.
All right. So Armando,
and
you
when
did
I
mention
put my
about
hand on the
your
Bible and
experience
said,
in
"Whatever you
Tijuana
lead me, I
in
will
faith formation.
follow." So I think that's why I say yes to everything. So yeah, wherever I was needed in the very beginning when me and Manda decided, because we were also helping, I was helping still in Mira Mesa. But it did not make sense. We live 1 block down the street.
Right.
We said, why are we going further when there's a church right here? So that's when we kind of said, let's get involved. So we we talked to the appropriate people and said, we're here, we're catechists, use us, we're EMs, use us, whatever you guys want.
Right.
So pretty much that's what we started, in the ministry of helping in the Spanish. Then from there, our oldies but goodies, Miss Kim, she says, I need help. Okay, let's go ahead and start going. And then when young adult came on board with confirmation classes,
Right.
I think they needed the youth style, but the older adult to be there. And I thought, you know what? I've worked all my life with young adults in the diocese, and in encuentros, why not? And sure enough, I was brought in confirmation, and that's where it started. So I was also, told my husband, well, we could also do it because our kids are going to be there, and what better to be, there with our kids learning the faith together. So that's what, and I did that for many years here at Our Lady Mount Carmel.
And it was one thing, I'm sorry, that I admire in your family, seeing you out there, with your kids is just a blessing. That's for me. I bring me memories,
Yeah.
And it's not like tears because I used to be an MC
To serve as
and
well,
service,
right?
yes.
Well, and your boys are still serving, so I
They're still
appreciate
serving.
we love serving with them.
Yeah.
Right.
So
It's the best.
it is.
But also, I was gonna share with you guys that at the same time there was a missionary from Costa Rica, Hermano Jose Maria, that we still in touch with him. That he was in charge of all the elderly people
Abandoned. So
Oh.
these would be
from the streets,
Right.
and I said I'm gonna come myself to come after I was. I used to work in the restaurant at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. I used to go and jump the fence
Oh, really?
in order to go inside. And I woke up in the morning and help them with the elderly people, give them a shower, bath them, and then shaving them. And it was the best experience ever in my life that I will, never change. And it taught me a lot of how to be serving others and to be humble. I learned a lot from them. There was elderly people that are already in dementia, and and with serious wounds that he was taking care, and they were yelling at him, bad words, and he'd be like, in so much love, embracing them and giving them a hug, and I see Christ in him, from another country helping, our people from Mexico, and without charging. It was amazing. So I learned a lot from that missionary, and it made me also to grow in my faith and to be more humble and to serve others, And I still remember those days, that I heard in the middle in the night, they start yelling, "I'm hungry, I need this," and like, but yeah, it's part. I mean, now in our days, we have our father-in-law living with us, right? He's 80 years old. He has dementia.
Okay.
And thank God that I have that experience that I could.
So he's a better caregiver than me. He is. Yeah. It's amazing, and it's not to make a praise because it's God first. But I see the care that he gives to my dad that I'm like amazed. And they say the elderly is Christ walking through us. So
Okay, so I mean, you definitely shared a lot of valuable experience in regards to your faith life. But let's kind of talk about also not just your faith life, but also what you do outside of your faith life. So could you tell us a little bit about this picture here?
Oh, well, yeah, that is me. That is funny. So 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I started reflecting, we give so much to everybody. And, how Armando's saying, you say yes to everybody, but sometimes we say no to ourselves. So I started seeing like, you know what? I want to live longer and we have to live healthier. I mean, spiritually, we're trying to enrich ourselves, but what about physically? Right. So again, it was something that popped up in a friend's Facebook, and it said something about a camp transformation, and I was like, that's me, I need that. And this was after January, so January the 19th or the 18th, I don't know, but so I said, you know what, and we have sisters that it's Sister Lori and Sister Myrna, mom over here. So we used to, and I think you remember this, Art. When I was doing confirmation at, here at the ministry here, we would also meet in the early mornings and go for runs. You were running with Father Iggy, Mark, and several people. And Lori me would walk. So it was 5 o'clock walking all around here. And then when this ad came, transformed, 21 days, do it for 21 days for $21. I said, I think I could do that. So I told Sister Lori, hey, Sister Lori, instead of walking at 5, how about if we go to a gym? And she was like, and I go, come on, you have to follow me. So pretty much I got her on board, and it was the best decision that I have made in my life because I started worrying about me and transforming my physical heart.
All right. So want to transition a little bit to parenting. So one thing that you said you'd be willing to talk about, and I wanted to take you up on it, was you had some ideas for some do's and don'ts that
I know. I had my phone and I just turned it off. I said, they're not going to ask that question.
I was intrigued. So can you tell us a little bit? You've had your oldest is graduated college now, right?
Yeah, she did. So finally,
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So she's our first. She graduated at Cal State Fullerton, 5 years with the pandemic and everything, and she got her studies as public health. Okay. So it's pretty broad. So we're excited about that. And she was our first. And we have, like I said, we have 4. Alyssa, 23, Angelica, 21, Alonzo, 19, and Armando Josue, 16. And then we have Carly. But I would never have thought that parenting would be the toughest this age. I thought it was when they were small. So Ryan, enjoy this age. Do not complain because when they were little.
That's what I was afraid you would say.
Yeah, my mom would say, the kids would be fighting for a toy. Mom, and it's like, oh, Cecy, this is nothing compared. Yes, it is. Look, they're not following directions. They're not loving each other. Now I understand what she said. I think that these young adult ages is the hardest, and it doesn't change from when we were young or you guys were young, and different problems. But society now is so open to it's okay. Right. It's okay. It's okay. Right. It's okay. Well, it's not okay on certain things, So it is hard. Like right now, I could tell you in our group of Encuentros de Promoción Juvenil, they were seeking parents to be they call them papi and mommy in the retreat. And they would always ask us, and I was like, Mando, I don't feel yet I don't feel like we would be good instruments for them because, we haven't gone through bumps and valleys and hills and all that. But now it's like,
We need it.
it's like we could now be the poppies in the cuento because we've gone through everything, and the do's and the don'ts. It just really takes from the moment that they're conceived to still now, because people say, oh, after 18, I could be my own person.
Right.
No, I mean, unfortunately, it's until you go to paradise, because that's when we end being your mom and dad. Then God takes over. But I was trying to think of a couple of from the moment that they're conceived. You have a little one right now. Tell her how important it is, even in her little months or little weeks, is that she's called to be a saint. We're all called to be saints. And I think doing that in an early age, our kids do believe that. Like right now, if I tell Alyssa, you're called to be a saint, she'll be like, Mom, okay, you're on a spiritual high. But I think from the moment that they're conceived, we're all called to be a saint. So I think that's like, especially right now, Ryan, man, you have it where you can do that. And a lot of you guys, who are barely having your little toddlers or 2, 3, 4, you could still continue at 19, 21, you could still tell them, and they have to believe it. And I think that's the thing, is we have to tell our kids that all of us are that. The don'ts, man, this is a long topic, right? But I could tell you that, and Armando, whenever you want to butt in.
Just 2 words.
Don't give them everything.
Yeah, my do, it would be, giving your faith, giving your good values. Don't give everything. Bottom line. Don't
materialistic.
Materialistic wise. That's what I'm talking about. Because you're like growing in a big family of 13. I don't see, and even though I was blessed because I was the youngest, and my older siblings will provide. I don't see that much, but still, we were really poor, right? Being a big family, but as you become a parent, like I don't want to happen the same thing that I went through to my kids, and you think you're doing the good, right?
Yeah, right.
And it's one thing I say: don't give everything. Not everything.
Do you find that that leads to they don't appreciate?
There you go.
What they have and what others do for them, right?
Right.
Is one thing I would worry about. For sure.
The materialistic, I think, and that's the thing, is like, we didn't have it, so okay, we're able to give it to them, let's give it to them. The phone, they need it, we need to know where they're at, and thinking like, no, we didn't need to do that.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my parents left me places, and I'd just have to wait for them to remember.
Right.
Yeah, I used to get dropped off at KB Toy Store and be there the whole day.
And you thought it was normal, right?
Yeah.
And I think another thing is don't compare your kids to your other kids. I think that you set a high standard.
Right.
Alyssa does say, you expected me to do a lot more, and now these kids, you don't expect them. No, we did, but maybe we were talking about that, right? Like the youngest one, they'll fall, and you're like, oh, you're okay. Which with the first, we ran and we have to go to the hospital or something. No, and I think that's the thing, is all of them are different, and I think we do need to understand that and not exceed, well, your sister did it this way, so you have to do it this way.
Right.
That's a big one of not comparing them.
Right.
And and allowing them to be them. It's like love the sinner, not the sin.
Right.
Right.
They're not saints yet. They're working at it, right?
Yeah. We're working on it. Like I told you, we're not a perfect family at all. I mean,
it's like pull and let go. Pull, but don't always pull because
they'll pull back harder.
Right. Pretty much.
And I think as they do get into high school and junior high school, be on them. Don't lose track of them. Don't lose track of what friends they're going to.
Right.
Again, it's a blessing when you do get kids that don't have that unit family or the faith. It's a blessing that you're bringing it to them to know that this is something that they could have,
Right.
yeah, there's some that, are totally taking your kids the other way, and they're so easy because they've been so molded so easy, like, oh, well, why not?
Right.
But being open, also in a lot of issues that sometimes we don't want to talk about, oh, they're too young to know about the sexuality or the morals or everything. Nowadays, you don't want them to learn it in the streets, because a lot of them, because you waited too long, oh, they're not mature yet. They learn it, and then they learned it from outside versus inside.
Right. Yeah. So with that, I mean, now that you had one child that graduated from college, and you got two that are still in college. So how do you keep them engaged in the faith? How would you?
That's a good one too.
Keep them on track.
We hear that from a lot of Catholic parents that they send their kids to college, and it's kind of a crapshoot sometimes. It seems like you don't know how it's going to affect them.
I think
we try to give them the best fundamentals, the good roots when they were little, right? And now you have to some way trust them that they're going to do the right decision. They're going to make the right decision.
Right.
But since they turn 18, 21, they think the world is theirs now. Right? They're like, I'm 21,
Yeah.
You're still under my roof. there's rules here, right? So yes, I mean, you like I said, it is hard as a parent, and like Cecy was saying. I mean, we don't like my daughter. Put it this way: one of my daughters, I won't say name. She just said to me, "I'm not going to mass because I don't feel nothing like going to mass."
I think that just tore
and
us.
seriously, and since I'm a warrior to God, I love my religion, I love my faith, I would give my life for Christ.
Right.
To hear that from one of my own blood, it's like, are you serious? You're stabbing in my heart. Do whatever you want to me, but don't say that. Don't do that to God, please. And it did hurt me a lot. At first. Right. And we talk, and I said, I pray to God. It's in your hands. And finally, it was after 2-3 months, 4 months, she came out to me, and I had a day off. And I love being at home because I'm never home. Right. So I was cleaning, doing my stuff. And she said, Papi, just want to let you know something. Okay, what is it? I'm going to start going back to mass Sundays. And I start crying.
God. Yeah, praise God.
I start crying. I said, why you have to cry? You don't know right now. You don't know right now. Right. Because you're not a parent. Right. You're not in my shoes, but one day, all I said, I thank you. Welcome back.
Yeah. Amen.
And I think we have to go through that. I even, I'm going to share, and they're probably going to hear, Mom, you did it, because I shared something in confirmation retreat. It was me and my other daughter gave a witness talk, and oh my God, they keep reminding me of that one incident, and I'm like, okay, that was only one time because I shared it.
Right.
I wanted to
be. It's a testimony.
Yeah, it was a testimony. I wanted to be transparent. But, I remember, I was going to Good Shepherd. I was confirmed very little, so I didn't have to go to confirmation classes. But my mom, you have to go to CCD back then, right? So me and my friend one time, it was CCD, and we said, let's skip CCD and go. It was a Tuesday, and it was free matinee or something. So here we go. Yes, I'm saying it in public. And I was in high school, I felt such a guilty conscience afterwards. So to those parents, if you've done the will of God of giving them, the faith since birth and taking them to faith formation and doing everything, have that trust that your child will know, that conscience will act. Maybe not at that moment, maybe later, maybe when you're in a situation. But it does happen. So I know sometimes we want them to be on fire like we are,
Right.
But they have to have their own spiritual retreat. Like when I shared with you in the beginning, you know, when I finally had that, it was at 18 years old, young maybe, but my whole life changed. Maybe for yours it's been barely right now, or maybe, you know, some people are not until 50, 60.
Right.
So we have to also give them until they are ready, then they'll do
That's
it.
an excellent
But the
point.
foundation that you guys have done, you know, your mom, you now as you're having your kids, us, we know it's there because God never leaves that one, you know, lamb. You know,
Absolutely.
he'll go for that the
Good
last one,
Right.
that last one. He's got the 99,
Yeah.
but if you're not in that,
Right.
he's gonna go get you.
Well,
So
Right.
we have to have that.
The church gives us some pretty good examples to look towards in the saints.
Yeah.
Also, not every saint started out a saint. You
Exactly.
know, Saint Augustine.
Or their conversion too.
Yeah, there are a lot of conversions, and
Later in life.
you know, in fact, your daughter only 3 months in the desert, so
Right.
you know, and hopefully she'll continue on a good path. We pray for that. So.
Yeah.
There are a lot of parents out there. We've talked to some where they're still praying for their children to come back to the church and, you know, come back to the faith, and they're still waiting, but you know, still doing their best, and you know, keep on praying, right?
Yeah.
A lot of St. Monica's out there.
A lot of Saint Monica's.
A lot of St. Augustine's too.
A lot of Agostins.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. I mean, that was more sharing than I
I
bargained
know.
for. I appreciate it. That's awesome.
No, this was great. I mean, I appreciate the both of you just to be able to share your faith journey, your faith life, your
absolutely.
family life too as well, and then to really see, you know, how much you rely on Christ our Lord, you know, and I think that's so important for everybody, especially now, to really hear that, you know, that there's always a light, right? There's always a light. Right? All right.
All right, now we're going to go into a little bit more light session of the interview. In this session, in this part of the interview, we call it the final 5 questions, the final 5. So Art and I have carefully created and selected questions just for you. And you know, some might just be for Cecy, some might just be for Armando. We'll let you
Right.
know, but just do your best, no pressure. I think our top team so far has gotten 4 out of 5, so no one's gotten a perfect score.
Right.
You guys might be the first.
Will we get a prize?
We should have a prize. You tell you what, at the end of the season, honestly, we don't know how many episodes the season is, but at the end of the season, the top team will get a prize. We'll get
Maybe a mug.
A mug?
Maybe
Yeah.
a mug. I'll take a mug.
Okay, so with that, we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so this question is for the both of you. What would you say is the world's hottest pepper?
We know that, you know, a lot of regions in Mexico, they like spicy food. So thinking you guys might know a little bit about peppers.
Which one's the hottest pepper?
The hottest
World's hottest pepper.
World's hottest pepper.
Habanero.
Okay.
Is that your final
Is
answer?
that your final answer?
I know, that's my final answer. Yeah.
Armando?
All right, so that is
That is the hottest Mexican pepper.
Right.
That's what we got.
hottest Mexican pepper, but not the world's.
Yeah,
Not the world's now. The world's.
I guess we haven't seen the world. So when Mando retires, I will get back to you on that.
All right, what is it, Art?
We got Carolina
Carolina
Reaper.
Reaper.
Carolina Reaper, which is 2.2 million SCU.
Yeah, that's a Schofield unit.
Okay.
So in comparison, the habanero is 300,000
Oh, wow.
Schofield units. So this is, what is that, 3, 6, 9, 12, 28? That's like 7 times hotter.
Poor stomach.
I know. I don't know who
Wow.
could
Yeah.
possibly eat that, right?
Yeah.
Whole.
I was offered, and that's the thing I didn't remember. A guy from UPS store offered me those the
Ghost or
yes, but those for Easter. Those what they call it? This I forgot the name right now. But it had like 7 different flavors, habanero, and it was one of those. And I tried in the middle, and it was super hot. The beans, what they call it?
Oh, the jelly beans.
Jelly beans.
Oh,
Jelly beans.
with
Yes.
the peppers in it.
With the peppers, yes.
Wow.
And every single one had a name, and it was. I remember one of those.
It just sounds like a cruel thing.
And I
know.
tried
So
right in the
jelly beans.
middle. You know, but I was like, no, I wasn't able to handle it.
All right,
All right.
so we'll go to question 2. That was good effort. Question 1, maybe partial credit because I got the Mexican hottest pepper.
Yeah. I mean, that's still half
So
a point. Half a point.
We'll see. We'll consult later. And
We want the mug. We want the mug.
for question 2, though, this is for both of you, but specifically Armando's experience with the carnival. In that game, the carnival game, where you have to knock down the milk bottles, with the softball. How do the carnies do it? How do they always win? How do they rig that game so that you and I can't win it?
So, again, what?
They have the pyramid of the milk bottles.
Right.
And then you
throw,
stand like 10 feet
right,
away.
right.
And even like John Smoltz couldn't knock that thing over.
I know.
I don't know if everyone knows who John Smoltz is. That's dating myself a little bit.
Maybe because it's got metal in the bottom.
I'll accept it. Yeah, it's bottom weighted.
Yeah.
They bottom weight those suckers, and you can't knock them all over. So good job, Cecy.
We don't have that one.
All right. That's a ding.
All right. Okay. Next question. How does Mary identify herself when she approached Juan Diego?
Oh, I love that.
I'm your
How
mother.
how did Juan Diego appear to Our Lady?
Or how does
Our
Mary
Lady appeared to Juan Diego.
Or how does Mary identify herself when she approached Juan Diego?
What does she call herself?
La doncella.
I don't speak Spanish.
The prince, his loving mother. She appeared to him in a loving way, and he said to her, not me, you have other people that you can. I am a very meek, very simple. You don't need you princess. You need the royalty to go.
Right.
So she picked him because of his noble, humble heart.
Right.
So as a princess, she appeared in
queen.
in a mantle.
Right.
And only in that esmeralda color, that color that she has.
Right.
It was only for princesses and very royal people wore that. So.
Right.
That's your call on that one. I mean, she recounted the whole story.
Right.
So,
in other words, she identified herself as Mother of the True God.
True God.
So Mother of the True God. Yeah. I like the background.
I do too. I think we're gonna have to give him that one just because
Yeah.
Cecy told the whole story. I like it. All right, question 4. So this one primarily probably for Cecy, but Armando might know this one too. But who invented the burpee? Probably your favorite exercise.
I know, camp transformation. Because I had never heard of it, and I'm like, what? So they have different things, especially for your birthday. They make you do burpees.
I hate burpees.
Yeah. So you know what? I've been wondering who invented it.
Oh, you don't know then?
I don't know.
Armando, do you know who invented the burpee?
No.
I always thought it was an odd name to name something. I thought it had something to do with, causing you burp, or maybe it made you sick. But actually, Royal H. Burpee in 1939, he was a doctor. It's named after him. So it was much less aggressive, the one he invented. And then people have gotten a hold of it. Actually, in World War II, the Army, adopted it as one of their exercises. They made it much more aggressive, and that's kind of how it steamrolled from there. But Royal H. Burpee was the first person to invent that. Wow. So a follow-up question to that one, though. Who can do more burpees? You or Armando? All right.
So Hal, here we go. The final question. So this question was a question that Ryan and I have been really trying to really get the answer to. So
it's urgent.
Yeah, we've heard that you're into detailing cars. Is that correct in some way, or like cleaning up in some way?
When I was single.
Right. Okay. So
now that
this would probably be a better question for you then. So, how do you get blood stains out of your car upholstery?
Go to 99 store and then the cheapest. No. I mean, blood stain. We can use.
No, that one that you said right now.
Right, but it's awesome. It does work. Yeah,
It does work. Okay. So,
right.
Good.
Okay.
The awesome product.
We'll accept that.
Honestly.
So basically, you blot immediately, then use cold salt water.
Cold salt water works.
Cold salt water.
So there's a tip.
All right.
These were real then. Okay, I thought he was
Yeah.
making it up.
No, we don't mess around. We do research that takes at least 6 to 7 minutes.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Serious.
So in a sense, that wraps us.
It
wraps
does.
up those-
You
wraps us
know,
up now.
we
Right.
this was a lot of fun, and we really appreciate how open and really sharing your witness, like you mentioned. It's you know, it's a gift to us, but
Right.
you know, fortunately, you know, more people will watch it, and then it'll be a gift to others as well.
So with that, I want to thank you all for tuning in to Casting the Net. We are your hosts, Ryan and Art. We are casting out and looking forward to catching you back in. Thank you.